Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Zone Cantina Hangouts, the Mandalorian retrospective series, where we go by episode to episode, planet to planet, on adventures with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. Gene's not with me today. We're taking turns swapping uh, these last two episodes because of schedules and life and things like that. But that's okay because much like the actual Mandalorian show, these are standalone episodes, so you can hop in and out whenever you'd like and really not miss a beat. And thankfully, I'm not here to talk about it by myself, though. I have two wonderful guests who I've podcasted with many moons ago and many times. First off, I'm going to introduce Andy first. Andy Gomer, my friend, how are you?
I am doing good. Very tired. Probably why Gene's not actually here because it's what, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning for you?
Oh yeah, it's not great, but this is kind of the time we all settled on, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Yep, it
Thanks for
works
joining
for
me.
me.
Thanks for joining me. Also here is Mike Messina.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's early as fuck, and just I want to give you both a round of applause for being troopers for this time schedule. So we're literally coming off like right at the end of the episode.
Yep.
We just watched it, and the episode is hang on. The episode is called Chapter 6, The Prisoner. It's directed again by Rick Famuyiwa, who directed Chapter 2, The Child, the first major appearance of Baby Yoda. And there's not as much good Baby Yoda content these last two episodes, if I'm being honest. And I think it's breaking the show for me, among many other things. But we'll get to that. Andy and Mike, everyone knows how I feel about the show already, in that I keep trying to like it and it keeps stopping me from that. But what do you guys think? Mike, what are your thoughts on The Mandalorian as a whole and this episode, just really briefly?
Yeah, I'm probably a lot less hard on it than you are. I'm definitely enjoying it, having a good time with it.
Yeah, I like it, but as time goes on, my passion for it has been waning just a tad, just because of some of the things that me and you have talked about. Like, we have the same idea of like the character isn't developing at all, really. Where it's just, you know, a lot of action going on that isn't really supported by character or background on the main character or the title character. So that's basically what I want more of, and if it continues this way this season, it'll be fine, but next season they need to step up that stuff.
Yeah, that's my thought right now. That the first season kind of like, well, we're doing all these standalone things because one, it's kind of a fun adventure serial throwback, like Star Wars, like was initially kind of
Yeah.
plotted out to be, and like the individual plots these episodes kind of contain, like I am so cool with it.
Hmm.
Uh,
For
uh,
sure.
Dave Filoni, who has written and directed two episodes as well, and I think he's also written more episodes that we're going to see. He's obviously like referred to often as like the heir apparent to George Lucas, and I still have mixed feelings about that. Very talented writer, but like on his work on Clone Wars specifically had a lot of standalone episodes, and Clone Wars is generally pretty freaking spectacular. And some of the best Star Wars stuff like ever is in that show, and it's totally worth like every viewing experience. It's not always 100, like knocking it out of the park, but it's very much worth everyone's time, I would say. And in here, it feels like the thing that's missing, and this might sound weird to a lot of people, but say what you will about the prequels, like the individual personalities of the characters, like they're well defined enough to have sustained 6, soon to be 7 seasons of animated television. And the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, I don't know. I don't know. So we start off this episode, uh, and the Mandalorian is just jumps right on in to another standalone plot, which is actually pretty cool. It's a heist breakout episode that turns into like a tight little thriller, with robots and cool aliens and right off the fucking bat, we get just like this all-star cast of character actors like Mark Boone Jr., Bill Burr, Bill fucking Burr, who's kind of not kind of. He's definitely a problematic fave. He's a little baby boomerish, but fuck, he makes me laugh. So I'm sorry about that. Clancy Brown, who is also like kind of Star Wars royalty at this point, and Natalia Tena from Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. Very talented actress who kind of is not the best in this episode. But there's a lot of cool aliens appearing, and the Mandalorian has to work with them to break someone out of a space prison that belongs to the New Republic. So about this plot, it's a simple little premise, which is what all these episodes are, and it allows the new directors to come on and really bring their own flair to things. Andy, what are your thoughts on Rick Famuyiwa as a director? And off the bat, would you say you preferred this episode to his previous episode, Chapter 2?
I probably wouldn't prefer it to Chapter 2. You kind of put me on the spot there.
Sorry.
Try to think back on Chapter 2. Actually, yeah, I think that I would, just because this is more like this had more horror elements. Like we were talking about, like me and Mike beforehand, a certain franchise was brought to mind when we were watching, and yeah, I could totally feel those vibes that Mike had as well. But that's probably why I would probably lean towards this one, because it was more of like a creepy, like he's stalking his prey type of vibe, and I am all for that. And it just, the simplicity of the plot was really executed well, but you just wish that you had more background stuff on the character. But it was really good at showing his abilities. When Are we going into spoilers first, or going through stuff?
Yeah. This is always
Okay.
a spoiler heavy one.
Okay. Especially like right when they get on there, and then they interact with, like, I think 6 to 8 like super like armored droids on the ship. Basically he takes them all out by himself, while all the others are like hiding, and it just shows like his ability, and honestly shows his badassdom, and it's worthy of the character that we've gotten so far. And I just want it to go deeper, like we mentioned earlier. But it was just a well executed show of his abilities, and added a really nice creepy factor.
Yeah, Mike, feel free to go ahead and just let everyone know what you compared this to franchise wise, because I definitely didn't get the vibes that you guys got, but I really like that you brought it up.
Yeah, we were talking about a little bit before we started recording that this reminded me of Alien Resurrection a little bit, and Andy agreed that it kind of reminded him of the Alien franchise as well. No, I was just getting the vibes of it, like the way we were like just going through the hallways of the ship, and like the thrillerness aspect of it, like you're just getting these thrills here and there. Whether you liked it or not, that's kind of the way that it was put together. So I thought
This
that was
is the
definitely
way.
interesting. Yeah, that was yeah. They even mocked that in the episode. But yeah, so definitely a new aspect added to Star Wars, which we haven't really seen something like this in Star Wars. So I definitely appreciate like them just going for something like that in the series.
Yeah, and to be fair, there are a lot of great like horror elements in the Clone Wars. Like they would always do like mini arcs, like anywhere from 2 to 4 episodes, mostly like 3-part arcs, where they would like venture off to like Anakin would go over here with his apprentice Ahsoka, and then like, oh, you think a problem's done? It's like, oh, you thought this was like a war plot line? It's actually a horror movie plot line. There's like space zombies and stuff. There's like vampire witches. The Clone Wars is the shit. It's awesome. When that thing hits, it hits well. But like, yeah, like live action, this is pretty alien to the series. um,
Okay.
thank you.
One thing to note that I find interesting, like I was just looking at my timeline on Twitter before we started recording, and everyone I follow who's watched it, who stayed up and watched it, they're all like pretty much unanimously saying this is their favorite episode, that this is the best episode by far for everyone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm finding that it's really the writing and like the way the show uses its budget. Towards the end, this thing, I was kind of clowning on it, like in my notes. I was like, this still just looks like a fan film to me. Like, not in a bad way, because there's like, fan films are well directed sometimes too. Like, just like any work of art, there's gonna be some hits and there's gonna be some misses. And then the ending shut me the fuck up because it was like, oh, there's a space battle. You can't do that. So that's what I get. But I don't know. There's still something that needs. It's a little leaves some stuff to be desired for me, I guess. But what I really did like in this episode, not only just Bill Burr, who I think, no disrespect to Pedro Pascal, who's a terrific actor, I think this show needed Bill Burr as the Mandalorian. And just have him do like his stand-up routines in the middle of like action scenes, especially the controversial ones. Just really start pushing buttons and just have him, because you know what, that would be like a character trait for the Mandalorian. It would be something if he was just like a huge asshole who was like, yeah, my wife was telling me she doesn't like my whole vibe, like just something.
Here's a
that'd be
question.
way too much talking.
Here's a question. I'm going to imagine that in the finale, like the season finale, the Mandalorian's probably going to take his helmet off. Like that'll probably be the end, like in the last episode. Do you think that one? Do you guys agree with that? And then two, do you think after that it's going to be a lot lighter with like him, like the rules of his helmet being on or off throughout the rest of the series will be a lot lighter, like a lot less strict on like when it's on and off?
I don't think that they will this season. If they do,
really?
It'd probably be second season.
Okay.
But I'm not sure exactly how it'd go from there. There could go multiple ways, but I think that'd be cool or better if they just left it on and made that like a thing.
I think because like something happened in the Star Wars timeline where Mandalorians now no longer take their helmets off. Clone Wars, like they do it plenty, and even Star Wars Rebels, which take place around the time of New Hope.
I just feel like it was that one tribe that, like certain tribes that take it this far, and he's a part of one of them.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
The world building in this show is so weird to me because every once in a while it's just like I really liked it in the first couple episodes where they're like, here's like this weird squid money from the Mon Calamari. And like I just totally buy into that stuff. It's like, oh yeah, they're squid people, so their money's like squishy. Like that's so like
squishy.
Yeah, that's so fucking cool to me. It's just
the little noise it made whenever you hand it off to somebody.
Yeah, oh, it's great. It's so nerdy and awesome. And then other times I'm like, I don't know why you're doing this. Like it's telling us stuff about the world, but I don't understand why it's like a necessity. I guess I don't know. I think the show is withholding too many of its cards. I bet there's even stuff like at play. Like we stopped getting flashbacks of the Mandalorian's like mysterious backstory as like a foundling child or whatever, and someone rescued him. We all think that's Yoda, right? That rescues him, because that's during the Clone Wars.
I've never thought about that at all.
That's not crossed my mind once, but now I'm totally down for that.
Okay.
Whoa, so if Yoda rescued him,
why would
Yoda?
Then
he has this attachment to Baby Yoda because it was Yoda who saved him, and now he has.
He was saved, and then he said that he was taken in by the Mandalorians. I would assume a Mandalorian took him in.
Well, I'm gonna push up my nerd cred glasses. If you follow the timeline of the Clone Wars and the Civil War on Mandalore, he could have been dropped off pre-Civil War when the the Death Watch, the notorious Mandalorian terrorist syndicate, incited global conflict with the Mandalorians. If he got adopted into the culture prior to that, it tracks. But that, again, that's just a theory. That's not even what this episode's about. This
What are you gonna
episode's
say?
about aliens shooting each other.
When are you gonna say when it was Django that saved him?
Django. Oh no. Actually, you know what? No, because I rewatched Aquaman like 5 times this year, so I'd be down for that because Tamora Morrison is an awesome actor.
That would be interesting too if they do decide to bring Boba Fett into it. So if it was Django who rescued him, and then he has to take on Boba, who's his son.
Why would you say that, Mike? Because I've been
so adamantly natural.
Like, I've been so adamantly against Boba Fett being in this show, but then you say some shit like that, and I'm like, fuck, that totally works.
Well, that wasn't him, right? At the end of last episode, like that was. I saw people saying that it's probably Giancarlo Esposito's character, and probably not Boba Fett. Is that like what you guys think?
I assume it's not.
I thought it was Boba Fett, but I've seen talk. I can't find the interview, but someone said that Favreau said a while back that Boba Fett will not be in the show. But I haven't seen that interview. Maybe I've just missed it.
I haven't seen that either. But even if he said that, though, like, that, you know, yeah.
Oh God, like just let Boba Fett be like some nerd who got owned by Han Solo on an accident. Like, I don't know. That's such a funny death to me. Like, I never want someone to touch that. Every time someone touches that, I'm like, but I just like characters that feel like human, you know? And Han Solo was like the biggest idiot ever. That of course he was never going to be able to take Boba Fett in a fist fight. So he just got lucky by turning around and knocking him into like a pit of eternal damnation that swallows him for thousands. Like, that's so funny to me. And I wish this show also had like that sense of humor about its characters. Like the stuff with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian, like that's just objectively adorable. Like, of course, that's so fucking cute and hilarious and charming. But like every other character in this show, including the Mandalorian a lot, is always just like, wow, they're the best at what they do. They're so cool and awesome and everything's so serious and everyone's always the best and dark and mysterious. And it's just like I don't believe any of like the emotions they're selling because of it. Because everyone has to be like just the best all the time. It's like if every character was Chris Pratt in Jurassic World. And I love Chris Pratt as an actor, but like, you know, that would be boring. Why would you do that? I just don't get the writing of the characters on this show. And I don't get why they keep referencing stuff like that makes nerds mad in this episode, but I love it so much. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Bill Burr was like referencing Canto Bight. He was bringing up the Gungans. I'm like,
yeah, the Gungans, yeah.
Like the fandom menace like hates this shit, and here's Bill Burr just cracking jokes about it. That made me so happy.
Yeah.
He definitely did that on purpose just to rile it up.
They're just doing what they want, you know, which I think is good.
I agree, but like I feel like they need to be doing so much more. Like these things cost $15 million per episode, and they don't even look as good as like the first season of Game of Thrones. I'm just kind of aghast.
I think that everything looks good except for when you get characters with heavy prosthetics. Like that's the only thing that's faulting so far. Besides like, you know, character development of the title character.
Yeah.
So would you apply that to the Twi'leks this episode?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The head tentacle hair thing. I'm not totally sure how those work, but like that's not a complaint. That's cool nerdy Star Wars stuff that I like. It's like, oh, how does that work? I don't know. It's not real. Cool. Moving on. But they don't look great. Like the head tentacle hair looks a little too stilted, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting because it's like, you know, we've seen them like in their animated versions, but then they they brought, obviously we had it in Return of the Jedi as well, but you know that was that was what it was. And then we had them all throughout the animated series, and of course, Hera is the most famous Twi'lek as far as like main characters go. And a lot of people want her to be featured in one of the films in live action, and I've definitely been down for that. I think it would be awesome because she's a great character. But I've always wondered like how, like what she would look like translated into live action. And she's green, and these were like a purplish blue color. I don't know if it's just it'll be interesting like to see how like they continue to show the Twi'leks, if a lot of them will look different, like depending on like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that they'll all kind of just look a little different as they go on, and they'll just say like, obviously that's just them perfecting it, but they'll just say, oh, they all look kind of different.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd be cool with them like just always looking a little different, like
Mhm.
like my problems with the show are definitely more like on the creative side of things, not so much like a little presentation like I was saying, but like I'm cool with the aliens not looking like the best always, and so if they change up the look a little bit once in a while, like that's totally cool with me. Like I grew up on Star Trek as much as Star Wars, so I've seen some shit is what I'm saying.
I have a question. Do you guys think that he'll ever be in a fight where he doesn't use the flamethrower?
I hope not.
I want the flamethrower to like explode in his arm. And just like they'll never like blow his arm off or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like if Spider-Man gets caught like with his web shooter and the villain like crushes the web shooter, like that's kind of cool. It's like, oh no, we can't use that now.
But what
that
if
will probably happen?
what
I
if
see that probably happening.
yeah, what if his like arm gets, like you just said, blows up, and then he has to get like like a prosthetic or something like that, and he hates droids so much he'd be like, motherfuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess they just dropped that
wow.
in this episode, that the Mandalorian's like a racist.
Well, they've been saying that since the
That's
beginning.
going on. Yeah.
I've totally missed it. I'm part of the problem.
He always like in the
That's
first episode when like the guy, they bring up a droid like thing to take him and his first like guy to his ship. He's like, no droids, and then that's when what's his face comes in to drive him out on the ice, and
then
every episode they bring it up.
Even like last episode when the droids were gonna go work on his ship, and he tells her like, no droids, like I don't want them near my ship.
Oh yeah. Okay,
like,
that's the most consistent character development we've gotten for the Mandalorian.
And you didn't
racist.
And you didn't even catch it.
The reason being,
got me.
Like I feel like it's because in his past he had the droids that were destroying his village. I imagine that's why, like in the flashbacks when he was a foundling, like there's the blast going on around him, and they're going around just destroying the village with blasts everywhere.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Thought is that these droids raided his village and like destroyed so much of what he loved, and that's maybe why.
Or he's just a racist. I'm cool with either answer, honestly. I'm just shocked that that's like the most consistent thing about his character.
What did you guys think about the X-Wings at the end, and Dave Filoni with his cameo as one of them?
Dave Filoni, Rick Famuyiwa, and I believe that was Deborah Chow.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay, I didn't even notice.
So. Hey, hang on, I'm gonna double check that really quick. Sorry about the typing.
Oh yeah, that was Rick, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure that was Deborah Chow. So that's cool.
Awesome.
Like that made me happy because I knew for sure that was Rick Famuyiwa and Dave Filoni, and I was just like, that's cool. Like I like that other filmmakers who worked on Star Wars get to cameo on other Star Wars stuff. Like Gareth Edwards was in Last Jedi. Who was in someone else was in Solo and Rogue One. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I just think that's cool.
Ryan Johnson was in The Force Awakens, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was like one of the guys who was like sending one of the beams out of Starkiller. Like I think.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Because like, George Lucas made Star Wars to like not just make like a modern fairy tale, but like to hang out with his filmmaker friends. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's what Star Wars should be. Just everyone just hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah,
So,
especially like just something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Even if I'm not in love with it, that's like an inherently cool thing about Star Wars. Just like everyone's like, let's just make some cool adventure shit in space with laser swords and green babies. Like,
Speaking of, did you see the way they disrespected Baby Yoda?
They just fucking drop him.
The way they dropped him, they dropped him and he like bounced on the floor. And I was like, what is the disrespect? Like,
disrespect? That's just bad parenting.
It was just like the ship like shook a little bit, and like Baby Yoda like flew, like he started rolling. I was like, what is happening? Like, hold on to him.
I laughed, but then I was like totally out. I was like, oh, I don't buy Baby Yoda at all this episode. Because like he looked really bad when they were just holding him.
How did
it was just a still thing.
How did you not love the fact that he basically does what every child does when they're younger and they like know Star Wars? It's like he's trying to use the Force, and then like when something happens, he looks at his hand like, "Whoa, did that work?"
I like that.
That was great. When they literally just that scene when they picked up Baby Yoda, I was like, "This looks like American Sniper Baby bad."
I did really like that moment when he was like about to use the Force and he was like, whoa.
He looks at his hand like, what the fuck did I just do?
Like it's cute, and then it brings up questions of like, oh, well, how aware is Baby Yoda? You know, like at what point do Baby Yoda start to develop into just regular Yodas?
Teen Yoda, right?
What was that?
Teen Yoda.
Teen Yoda. No, he has to be adolescent Yoda first.
Well, I mean, that's
that for Groot.
Yeah, that's why I was.
We went from Baby Groot to Teen Groot.
Yeah, but there was a time jump.
Yeah, like 3 months. So what? For Yoda, we're gonna have to wait like 2 years, or like 200 years.
Yoda's 50, right? So like, how long does he have to get until he like advances to where he's talking?
Probably like 150, 250 years.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that would be so funny.
What if he's like Teen Yoda in 25 years? Like saying like, because 25 years from now is The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi time. So that means now in the present saga timeline, he's Teen Yoda. And then he joins up with Rey at the end. That's the end.
Maybe
I've decided that's the end of the Rise of Skywalker. Rey and Baby Yoda are Teen Yoda.
God.
Maybe he's like done with the series like the week before Rise of the Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, so that he can show up as like older Yoda, as Teen Yoda in the movie.
Please.
But he's just like yelling at the Mandalorian, "You're not my dad, or my dad, you are not."
That'd be funny if in the background you just see the Mandalorian and then like a Teen Yoda just screaming at him.
That, and then like another ship, like in the trailers, like this isn't a big spoiler thing. It's in the trailers, like with all the ships coming through, right? I want to see like Bill Burr in one of those ships and just like cursing like a sailor, and then I know the Rise of Skywalker will make me happy. That's all I want. I just want Bill Burr and everything Star Wars now. My problematic fave.
Notice how they showed them at the end, like almost kind of like hinting at the fact like we're gonna see them again.
Like because they're saving them for Rise of Skywalker.
Well, I think that the obvious real reason why they showed him at the end is to show that he didn't kill them. He just threw him in jail.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like while he's stalking him, you don't see him finish anybody, and then you're just wondering like, did he actually kill them? And then it shows him obviously he only killed the droid, so obvious racist.
Yeah, of course. he let the flesh people live, not the synthetics though.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
And then he let the X-Wings kill the other guys.
Yeah, just like I don't get his sense of morality, but
kill the droids. Everyone else is fine to live.
Zero was about to try to take out Baby Yoda though, so he was protecting Baby Yoda.
Oh my god, yeah, and then he kills the droid. again.
Yeah, he's like, you do not touch my son.
No, he didn't even
No.
know. He just like was bloodthirsty for like
I-
the
Fuck
sweet
this droid.
robot
he-
blood.
Look,
Fuck
Baby
this
Yoda
droid.
just must be
He can
protected.
fly my ship.
Yeah.
What would I wonder what Baby Yoda would have done actually in that position. Like, would Baby Yoda have been able to protect himself in that moment? You think?
You know, it'd been awesome if he just like if Baby Yoda like like just closes his eyes and then moves his hand, and then all of a sudden like Zero just like compounds into like a ball of metal, and then just falls to the floor, and then the Mandalorian all of a sudden walks in. He's like, "What the fuck?"
You know what? I actually thought that's what was going to happen.
I thought
Like-
that was what was gonna happen too.
Or at least like some variation of that, because Baby Yoda lifted up a furry rhino in episode 2.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
that, I think that's totally like a valid like theory for some of these episodes. Just like Baby Yoda wilding out.
Well, maybe that will happen because Baby Yoda is probably going to pick up this racism that the Mandalorian is giving him.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Plus, he almost got shot by. Yeah, he almost got killed by a droid. So now he's probably going to hate them.
Oh God, he's gonna be like droid lives matter not.
Oh, no.
I'm telling. Oh man, this Mandalorian's a bad
Do
influence.
not speak on Baby Yoda this way.
Baby Yoda needs to die because he's a racist now.
No,
Yeah,
Baby
that's
Yoda.
basically it.
Baby Yoda does not condone racist behavior. Baby Yoda is
He
good.
doesn't understand his own racist behaviors yet. He hasn't been taught.
He has
Yeah.
Baby Yoda innocent.
Yeah, exactly. But his innocence is leading towards bad tendencies
Yeah, exactly.
for
It's
his
like,
800-year life.
It's like if you have a kid of a not like from a couple of Nazi sympathizers, like at a certain age, they're responsible for
this
their own
going?
actions. I'm just
This is-
saying. And
this
Baby
is going
Yoda
in
is
an awesome
50 years
direction.
old. Baby Yoda is older than everyone on this podcast. So I'm just saying,
He's
there
an
comes a point
adult.
where plausible deniability is no longer plausible.
What does Baby Yoda look like for the first like 25 years of his life?
Less of a racist,
Like-
probably.
No.
Smaller ears.
Do the ears get bigger as well, I like to think the ears are always huge. I like to think that the
They're
body-
always the same size, and then your body
that's
just
what
goes
I
into
like to
it.
think. This is what we should be talking about, not these other things. But we should be talking about the ears on Baby Yoda. Like, I like to think the ears he just comes out with big ears, like just from the womb, just like the start of life, huge ears, tiny body, and he grows into the ears.
No, Mike, his ears clearly are a direct correlation to his racism.
The bigger the racist, the bigger the ears. That's how it works. No. My actual theory on the ears is that Yodas need to trim them.
That's messed up.
They
What?
have to, otherwise they get too big.
How do you trim ears?
I don't know. It's Star Wars. Anything's possible. That's what I'm going on. Baby Yoda is a racist. That's my headline.
This is
And
please
then
don't do this. Please
it
don't.
needs Yodas need to trim their ears, otherwise they'll grow too long.
Mike, to make you feel better, he'll title it "Mike doesn't believe me that Baby Yoda's a racist."
No, it's gonna be one of those clickbait like thumbnails too. Baby Yoda racist? Exclamation point, question mark.
Yo,
I'm sorry, Mike. It's either this or Baby Yoda dying theories.
oh no.
Awesome.
Okay, anyways, we should start wrapping up because it's like fuck o'clock in the morning over here.
We didn't even talk about the episodes.
Oh yeah. Well, like, okay. What do we want to talk about for this episode, Mike?
No.
There's
So,
really
like,
not that
He
much.
got hired
get
to
to
go
eat-
get
okay,
the
he
Twi'lek.
arrives-
Against him. He
Yeah.
took them down. He got the Twi'lek, took him back, and they thought they got the one up on him. He ended up getting it on them. Called the New Republic fighters. Left. Gave Baby Yoda his little ball thing. The end.
That was
Yeah.
so simplistic.
Yeah. I did like the action scenes in this episode. They keep doing this weird thing though, like with all the coverage of like the characters moving around. Like the Twilight character like just did not work for me, either of them, unfortunately. But the one from Game of Thrones, Natalie Tennis character, where like she got separated from Clancy Brown's alien character, and then like did they get lost at a certain point from one another? Because like this is one of those situations where like you could totally tell they had to reuse the same hallway a couple times, and I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. But I wasn't sure like if they were getting lost or like if the Mandalorian was separating them somehow.
The Mandalorian separated him because he was in that one in the control room, and when they were walking through, he had the door shut in between. There's 4 of them walking around, and he had the door shut in between them, so that they were split up into 2.
He split up the group of 4 into 2 separate 2s.
Yeah.
But then after that, when Clancy Brown was fighting him,
oh, gotcha.
I couldn't track when Natalia Tennis character got separated and went off and did her own thing.
Gotcha.
Maybe that was just me. I don't know if you guys followed that better.
I got what you're saying now.
Well, they were like, you mean like when like Bill Burr's character was like, "Are we gonna go back and get your sister?" And then her brother was like, "What about her?" And he's like, "Nice family."
No, he's talking about when no, okay, so they got separated because they were I would assume that they were both looking for him, and then the devil dude found him first. And that's when he took him out, and then that's why she was alone.
Yeah, that actually.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I also like that the devil dude just like, of course, the flamethrower does nothing to him.
Yeah. See, that was fun. That was a fun little bit of action right there.
Yeah.
I wish it was more playful like that. Like just the smirking, like his fucking grin, like coming through the flames and the smoke. I was like, that's just cool shit right there. That's fun. And I don't care that he survived like 2 blast doors like that. I actually like that all the villains survived. Like, oh, we'll get you next time. If it wasn't for you, Mandalorian, and your meddling Yoda kid. I like
that should be the title.
Yeah, the Mandalorian and that meddling Yoda kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just fun, like swashbuckling stuff to me. Like, I'll get you next time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Except for the other 2 dudes on the main station who get blown up later. They're gone. I think. I don't think they're coming back from that.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure not.
Yeah. Anything else you need to talk about with this episode? We keep bringing up other threads, like in the series. Like Mike brought up the boots that we were theorizing was probably Boba Fett at the end of last episode. Who the fuck? Carl Weathers is chasing him. Werner Herzog is chasing him, and that's it. Like, I'm totally cool with the show not being like obsessively plot driven, but it just keeps bringing stuff up and it's not interested in following through on them. And I feel like there's probably a better way to have kicked off this series if it didn't have so many balls hanging in the air,
The only thing that it's been 100% thorough on is his racism.
Oh, yep. No, we're not going back.
No, it's true. The Mandalorian is just a racist, and he's making Baby Yoda one too.
I can't speak on anyone else. I can just only speak on Baby Yoda since I know him. And no, I'm joking.
Yo, you saw him at a basketball game with Laura Dern. If you know, you know.
Brought that up. Yeah. Oh, she actually posted Rachel and I posted on our coffee account on Instagram. There's a photo of Laura Dern just from a few days ago. She has latte art with Baby Yoda on it from like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And she like posted it. I think it's on her actual Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
The thing is, she knows who Baby Yoda is.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, she just said that's all she's going to say on the matter.
Did you see that in an interview she was told that her Bronchiosaurus died
Oh yeah, and she
What?
just was completely unprepared.
and she was dead. She's like, if that's
What?
true, that's sad.
What do you mean? Who told? Like, how does that even? What?
It was an interview for Greta Gerwig's Little Women remake, and
Uh-huh.
someone brought up that the Brachiosaurus died in Fallen Kingdom,
Mhm.
and Laura Dern didn't
Oh,
believe it at
okay.
first, and then she like basically has like an emotional breakdown. Like
Is that
she's playing it
hers?
up, but you
Like
know,
the one that her and Dr. Grant see at the beginning of the
Okay, we
first one.
don't look. We
it's
don't need to
it's
talk about that scene
the
because that.
Jurassic Park moment, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean. But I know you're talking about that moment in the second Jurassic World, and it's like one of
Yeah.
the saddest things that's ever.
Well,
in
that's
TV.
why,
Like,
apparently she
that
didn't
was.
know that that was the same dinosaur, and
I
that's
didn't
why
know
the guy
that.
told her. It,
Um.
well, it's the same effect. It's the same CG
Yeah.
effect that they just
Right.
put. They
It was
just cast
so
it as a
sad.
shadow.
I was so sad. Those poor dinosaurs.
Well, it's not that she didn't know it was hers. I don't think she saw the movie. You know, she's working. You know, like she doesn't have time for other movies.
She was filming
Or
Lost
she just
Jedi
knows
around
that
that
it's gonna be
time.
garbage and didn't even give it a shot.
Hey!
She was
The second
doing
movie
Star Wars.
is awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's not a true thing.
the finale takes place in a Resident Evil mansion. That's objectively good. Anyways,
Wild.
Oh, you're a terrible
Completely
person.
different movie.
no one's racist in. Actually, no, that's probably not true. I saw
I was
videos
gonna
of people
say
at the
I
end of
will
that.
watch
Yeah.
that movie to prove that wrong.
No, they're well. I mean, Chris Pratt stars in it. Anyways, so let's finish up
Wait,
the
wait,
Mandalorian discussion.
wait. What? I want to know what you meant by. Oh
Is there anything
no!
else to talk about with the
Oh, this is
Mandalorian
not
this
good.
episode?
If you haven't seen it, definitely go see it.
Okay, well, the question we're asking everyone week to week is, what do you think Baby Yoda eats? And
Frog.
final poll: is Baby Yoda a racist?
Oh,
Comment
Yes.
below. I'll put a poll out on Twitter.
Yes, do that.
Mike, what does Baby Yoda eat?
he eats frogs.
Yeah, but what else?
Mike, don't you
He's
feel bad
lizards.
for the frogs that get eaten?
Heck, they're alive.
Yeah, he's killing younglings.
Awful trolling.
Anything,
That's
Mike?
too much fun.
Okay.
Mike cannot speak ill will of the Baby Yoda.
All right, we're
Look,
just gonna leave that hanging.
Like I said, I just Baby Yoda is he is. Never mind, it's not good. I'm not gonna say
No,
that.
Baby Yoda's baby. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I tried not to just. Never mind.
Yeah. No, he's baby. That's it.
Wait, have you guys noticed how that's caught on Twitter lately?
Yeah, it's
Baby
horrible
thing?
and obnoxious, and I love it.
Where did that even come from? Is
I
that
don't
like
know. Probably
is that
Tumblr. It sounds like a Tumblr thing.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be like the last like breath that Tumblr is drawing into pop culture zeitgeist.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
Well, it went from like, cause you guys sent me like that Adam Driver one.
Oh, I said that one.
Yeah, that's
Where
right.
it shows like Luke over Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
And he's like, wait,
I gotcha.
I'm baby. And he's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I showed Rachel immediately, and she goes, "I'm uncomfy."
Oh no.
She said,
It's weird if someone says it to you in real life. See, at least we're recording over like Skype.
No, she read it. I was just like, "This is what Diego just sent me," and she goes, "Oh no."
Yeah, but it was for the group chat's eyes only. It wasn't to be put out into the world.
It's a meme you got from Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about everyone on Twitter who saw it?
Well, I can't protect them.
Never mind. I don't know.
I'm not a Mandalorian. I can't. Not everyone can't be my Baby Yoda.
It is cool.
Anyways, this is a disaster. The episode was basically fine. I was probably a little hard on it, but this show still, I feel like it could be so much more than what it is. There's no reason why it can't stand alongside the movies, and I'd say I probably like it about as much as like the worst parts of Solo, but actually no, that's not true. I like Solo more. I was trying to end on a positive note, so I'll just toss it back to you two. Good luck.
Well, I just want to. Okay, so I liked the episode, but it sounds like you liked a little less. Which one would you say is better? This. Which one would
you were like? It sounds like you like it a little less.
Which one would you say is better? This episode of The Mandalorian or this episode of your podcast?
Oh man, no, I'm having a blast with you guys. So this episode of my podcast.
Well, it's not our enjoyment, it's the listeners' enjoyment that normally rates it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't control that aspect of the show.
If every director like how much they like their movie, you probably get a different opinion than the audience.
Oh yeah, like that. That's why I can't. If I ever meet David Fincher, I cannot bring up how much I love Alien 3. Like, so. Like that would just be rude. But
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't mean. Does your audience even know?
Oh yeah, no, everyone knows I love Alien 3.
But they know the meme. Like they know the meme.
I mean,
if
they're listening to me for this long, they know.
Not a meme on your show, isn't there? Probably like it's like genuine, but like. In the past, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no. Hashtag Alien 3, always.
Hashtag Alien 3.
Yeah. This show is not as good as Alien 3. But Mike and Andy are very good. So closing thoughts. Let's end this train wreck.
Watch The Mandalorian because it's better than Solo, despite what Diego's saying.
I love Baby Yoda.
Why?
He's just a future racist, Mike.
I know. Come on, you're better than that.
You're supporting a future racist.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We must protect him against anything like this happening to him.
You're gonna protect a racist time bomb?
No. This is awful. This is so awful. So we're going to call out anytime anything like that goes on in front of Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda will be like, I'm done.
Yeah, I thought so. Why don't you guys let people know where they can find you online? Mike, let's get you out of here first because I'm sorry I put you through that.
No, just I don't want anybody to know who I am.
I'll link down below. Andy?
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at The Talking Cam.
And you can follow me at twitter.com at the Diego Crespo and the Waffle Press on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and Patreon, where you can donate to the show and just help us make it through the galaxy on a daily basis. Let it help us stop Baby Yoda's racist indoctrination from his terrible father figure, who is also a racist. And check out the rest of the Mandalorian episodes. Get ready for the Rise of Skywalker. We're crunch time with the Mandalorian recording like the day before that comes out. So fucking thanks Disney for that release schedule. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be nice to each other out there. It's just Star Wars, guys. Like, holy shit, it's just Star Wars. There's wizards and laser swords.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And racist little green babies.
And racist. Oh yeah, kill the racist little green babies though. Okay, good night everyone. Be good to each other.
Alien 3.